Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, Classics Last Non-Classics. This is episode number 740 and Doublshot number 644. Two DC trades. First of which is the final volume that collects issues from Nightwing Volume 3. Nightwing Volume 5, Setting Sun, collecting issues 25 to 30 and number 1. Yep, and here's something quite weird about this trade. Okay. Now, Kyle Higgins writes mostly everything in trade except for last issue. First starts with issue 25, which is tied into Zero Year, where Dick Grayson was in the city itself, and during the whole when the city has blackouts, he was at the movie theater, and he worked with a couple people who actually did appear in the first arc of the series. Though these are younger versions of the characters, probably about 4 or 5 years younger. It's Rhea and Raymond. Raymond was the main villain of the first arc of this run, and Rhea was, well, Dick Grayson's childhood crush, who he also slept with in the first arc. And here, they just basically just hang out. They hang out the movies, but they kind of basically protect them, and also, it was pretty nice. And again, of course, I think it was like, I would say a year after 0 year, maybe a year or two. That's when, of course, when Richard and Mary Grace were killed. So, yeah. And then we have the annual, which is the post-Flashpoint introduction to Firefly. Yep. But is it Garfield Lenz? Nope. Get this. Firefly, post-Flashpoint, is Ted Carson. Those of you not familiar with this guy, here's the thing. This guy, what was a one-shot version, he was technically the second Firefly, who only appeared for like 2 stories. Not kidding. If you look it up, this guy only appeared twice in the Golden Age. Twice, late Golden Age, early Bronze Age, and that's it. Because normally, people think of Firefly, people think of Garfield Lenz, who was a pyrotechnic, and the fact the guy had obsession with fire. Yeah, in the case of this one, he doesn't have a flamethrower attached to his outfit. Oh no. They had him where his whole body is on fire, and he's not scorched. He looks perfectly fine. And it turns out that Garfield Lenz's girlfriend, apparently Ted Carson was in love with her as well, because apparently, now you think this is Ted Carson getting killed off, because Garfield Lenz is the most familiar version of the Firefly, and then he gets killed off, and then of course he's hunted down by both Nightwing and Batgirl. Though, here's kind of the thing about Batgirl. Yeah, this is during the Wanted story arc. Yeah, this is a tie-in to that. Yep, Nightwing had a tie-in to an arc in Batgirl. Quite possibly by far one of Gail Simone's best works. And then of course it takes place chronologically, this takes place between issues 18 and 19, because 18 is when Dick Grayson found out that Tony Zuko was alive in Chicago, and this is basically him moving out of his apartment. Yeah, and this is just before he moved. So we had this little adventure. And then, of course, we cut back to, Chicago. And this is, of course, after the whole thing with the epic first arc of this thing. And then this next arc is not as long as the first one was. The previous one was for Chicago. This one's only just 4 parts. And these were the last 4 issues Kyle Higgins ever did for this book. Because, of course, Forever Evil had to interfere with this thing. And I'll talk in a minute about basically what happened with issue 30. Yeah, simply put, there was this character on Minaret. The man had to show up, and I thought it was really nice the fact he showed up in here. And also, Matt Hatter was only the first 2 issues. The last 2 issues, this guy killed this little girl's parents, who stayed at Dick Grayson's apartment in Chicago, and who is the person who killed her parents? None other than Victor Zsasz himself. Yeah, the crazy guy who loves killing people and basically making telemarks in his own body. Though I thought this was really weird that the artist gave him a goatee. I thought that was really, really weird. But now, the issue leads into Forever Evil number 1. Yep, because Nightwing is taking Victor Zsasz to Arkham Asylum because he's escaping from that. 30 is a backdoor pilot to the Grayson series. I mean, some people unofficially call this thing Grayson number 0 because it technically is Grayson number 0. Also, when this character first showed up, a lot of people thought this was Misty Knight in the DC Universe. Nope, this was Helen Bertinelli. I have no idea what the artist depicted her like this for. Yeah. By the way, the writing is done by people who do the Grayson series. Who actually did it, and that was Tom King and Tim Seeley. Yeah. I mean, they look at the way this character is dressed. I mean, a lot of people thought this was Misty Knight. Yep. Like afro hair, black skin. Yep, people thought this was Misty Knight. And nope, this was revealed to be Helen Bertinelli. Yeah. I kind of thought that too, until she took off her mask. And when she revealed she was actually, well, Helen Bertinelli. Of course, this is also she introduced the character Mr. Minos, who actually killed off in Grayson, though they later brought him back. Though the issue itself takes place after the events of Forever Evil, now this issue itself was in fact delayed. There was a good reason for that. And this was not the only issue was delayed. They also delayed the final issue of Justice League of America. Let's see. I think they delayed Suicide Squad 30 as well. And I think they even, of course, Justice League was being delayed anyways because, well, Jeff Johns is a busy guy. Excuse me. All because of Forever Evil number 7 being delayed by 2 months. Yeah, there was a 2-month gap between issues 6 and 7. Now, I have heard kind of the official reason for this, though the reason is quite stupid. According to the reason, Jeff Johns wanted to write more pages for Forever Evil number 7. Okay? And then I read the issue that came out, and I counted. What extra pages? What the heck was he talking about? Well, this guy was actually, Jeff Johns wasn't asked about this. It was some dumb moderator basically asking this stupid question. Now, still to this day, I have not heard a proper explanation of why. Like, that explanation of him basically saying he needs more pages, well, here's kind of the thing. The issue itself was standard size pages, like about 20, 25 pages an issue. It was a regular size issue. If it's going to be an epic finale to a crossover, plus the issue was $5, and I would have thought maybe, just maybe, the issue was going to be a double-sized finale. Nope, standard-sized issue. And that's the reason why the final issue was delayed. Now, I still don't know why Kyle Higgins left for. It's really weird. And then, of course, having Nightwing 30 be just simply a backdoor pilot to Grayson, to the Grayson series. I mean, people have unofficially called. I actually remember this when this issue came out. I saw reviews of it. People called the final issue of this one for Nightwing Grayson number 0. Because that's simply all it is. A backdoor pilot. I mean, what else happens to you aside from the introduction of Helen Bertinelli and Mr. Minos? Well, Batman and Nightwing basically beat the crap out of each other in the Batcave while also smashing a Batmobile, the Batplane, a bunch of displays. Yeah, it just basically excuse for Batman sort of supposedly grieving over the death of Dick Grayson. Though, here's kind of the thing. The whole thing with Dick Grayson being dead, that was a complete lie. Yeah, because a lot of people were afraid when... I'm going to give this book a 9.5 out of 10. Yeah, a lot of people were afraid because what happened in issue 6 where Lex Luthor supposedly killed Dick Grayson. Yeah, because apparently, I didn't initially know this until like just around that same period of time because I was reading DC Comics when Infinite Crisis came out. Apparently, there was a suggestion to kill Dick Grayson off in Infinite Crisis when Bloodhaven was destroyed. Yeah, that was seriously a suggestion. And apparently the deal wanted to do the same thing again with Forever Evil. Luckily enough, John said, no, that's a stupid idea. And I think every single comic reader agrees. Killing off Dick Grayson is by far one of the dumbest ideas the DOs ever came up with, aside from New 52. But this was a fantastic run. No denying that. I kind of felt as though that the whole thing with him, with the whole thing with Death of Family, that kind of complicated things when it came to, well, this era, because, excuse me, that actually sort of interfered with whatever Kyle Higgins was doing. I'm not sure what his full plans were for Amusement Mile, because they had it where Haley's Circus was based out of amusement mile because the tent burnt down. Yeah, it was destroyed in the first arc. And Dick Grayson basically bought the place. And of course, CC Haley's son, because he thought because he's his son, he should inherit the circus. But instead, with the Dick Grayson, apparently, I didn't know this at first. Apparently, he inherited years prior, in pre-Flashpoint. My guess is they decided to do it again. I don't know why, but yeah. Yeah. Here's my other final thoughts on this. I do agree with the whole thing of Nightwing's costume. I don't have a problem with the costume itself. But the mask was fantastically designed. The red eyes was something original. I do agree with switching out the blue for red. That was a dumb idea. Heck, even the Dio himself has actually admitted that was a dumb thing to do. One of two really things that he's actually publicly apologized for New 52. The other, of course, was taking away Green Arrow's goatee that he's had since the 70s. He's apologized for that too. He's admitted, yeah, that was a dumb thing to do, taking it away from him. And I'm glad Nightwing is back being blue and black instead of being the red and black. Yeah. Anything else for this run? It was overall a fantastic run. I give it basically, it's probably by far, no one can deny, when New 52 started, this is probably by far one of the top 10 best titles when New 52 first started back in 2011. During the period 2011-2016, this is one of the best titles they put out. It was consistently really good. But a lot of people were saying during these last few issues they weren't as good as the early Chicago issues. Excuse me. To me, I thought these were pretty decent issues, and Higgins himself did a fantastic job with them. But yeah, as of now, I officially reviewed the entirety of Volume 3 trades-wise. I, of course, am reviewing the current volume right now, waiting for the next trade to come out, whenever that will be. I think possibly the next trade I'll review related to Nightwing is probably something from Volume 2. Yeah, whenever I get my hands on that, I probably will review it. Alright, next up it is Harley Quinn Volume 2, Joker Loves Harley. Yep. Joker Loves Harley, which collected issues 8 to 13. I forgot to point this out, though, when I reviewed the first trade that collected issues from the previous volume, that Dan and Dale himself actually opened the issue, and they actually threw out, like, tomatoes at his window. I thought that was so hilarious. I think it was Jim Palmy poking fun at Dio. Yep. Of course, it's written by Jim Palmy and Amanda Connor. Artwork is mainly done by John Timms, but there's actually a few different artists on here. There's also Chad Hardin, who was the original artist for the series, Brad Pearson, Marnett, Brett Bleaves. There's also Joseph Michael Lister. Nikita Maduria and Andrew Robinson, who's also the colorist of this thing. Alex Sinclair and Amanda Collar are the cover artists, or the collection cover artists. The first story in here is all about Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn go to a nudist colony and spend a weekend there. Of course, Ivy knows that Harley loves her and she wants her to move in with her. Yep, that's what she wants to do. She says she'll think about it. She does occasionally pop up on this particular run. Yeah, and of course, what's the whole thing with Joker Loves Harley? Yeah, they have the Joker show up in here. Now, some people are thinking, okay, is this basically Connor Palmiani having Harley Quinn hook up with Joker? Nope, because it turns out this is not actually the Joker. Nope, it is an imposter. Yeah, they actually reveal where he's actually from, what arc he came from. He's actually from the second arc of the series, the Power Outage arc. Yeah, that's where he's from. And apparently this was all the Joker's idea, the real Joker, for him to pose as him and just, well, intimidate, basically get into Harley Quinn's head. Yeah. And also the character of Cyborg, I think his name is. Yeah, he's also at the newest colony. He's a character that was introduced in the previous volume. He was not, I'm not talking about previous volume, the trade series. I'm talking about previous run in the ongoing series. That's one thing I praise about this particular, when the series was relaunched. Like, a lot of people, a lot of books simply just switch on supporting characters or just create their own. But because the fact that Joe Palmer and Connor stuck with the book, they actually kept pretty much. If you look at this run and the previous one, it's just a continuation, which that's what a lot of people really love of this run. It's just a continuation of the previous run. I gotta say this arc is actually really good, and there's actually a little funny moments when Joke is tied up, blindfolded, and then when he takes the blindfold, apparently he's got a couple signs on him that says Brooklyn sucks, and then pretty much he's left in the middle of the street, and Carr just run him over and gets the crap beat out of him. Yeah, which I thought was so hilarious. And of course, him revealing that he was not actually a Joker. Yeah, but he is in a movie theater, and Harley Quinn's eating popcorn. I thought that was so hilarious. Yep. But this is just pure fun. 9.5 out of 10. Man, Jim Harbaugh and Mankind did a fantastic job with this. I can't wait to get my hands on more trades of this because I do want to get my hands on it. And I know for fact the first volume. Yeah, here's the thing with the previous volume for the series. This volume had not only an annual, but like 5 or 6 one-shots because Harley Quinn was being they overdid on it, and they gave her 2 miniseries. One was the Harley Quinn and Power Girl miniseries, which of course is probably an excuse for Mankind and Jim Harbaugh to actually write the character Power Girl again because they were the original writers of the second volume of Power Girl. Yeah, they did the first 12 issues beforehand, a different writer. Yeah, Bob Miller was the writer, and Amanda Conner was the artist. And they did the first 12 issues. And there was also, they also later on brought back the character of the second Terra, or third Terra, Ali. They brought her back in this run. Of course, they first brought her back in Starfire, supporting character. And then they brought her back here, which I thought that was fantastic. Of course, that was later on. Yeah, Power Girl does occasionally show up in the particular book itself. And I know recently that the writers have since left the book after, I think it was like issue 35, replaced with Sam Humphries. Actually, first replaced with Frank Terry for like 2 story arcs. And then, of course, he left to do a mini-series for Old Lady Harley. And now the current writer is Sam Humphries. Which, the recent issue that came out for Harley Quinn ended with seeing her building get destroyed. The building she got way back in issue 1. Yep. So yeah. Not much else to say. Great trades. Alright? And these are 2 trades picked up at Comic-Con. Don't worry, there's still a lot more I have to go through. As a matter of fact, 2 episodes after this one is going to be... Actually, you know what? It's actually next episode is going to be 2 more trades I got from Comic-Con. 2 trades after that. 2 episodes after this one will be 2 library trades and then more trades I bought. Okay? But that's it for this episode. Stay tuned for the next episode, which will be episode number 741 and Doubleshot number 645. Okay? But to see you there. Bye.